which we've just been able to access from top government sources, which show the Chinese presence in a couple of areas. Now, let's have this full screen. I think it'll be a bit clearer. What you actually see are Chinese soldiers on positions near Indian positions from where they have been filmed in that same Mukpari Rezangla area. These were the soldiers who actually tried to come onto Indian positions. Some of them fired in the air as well. Now, if we can keep zooming in on these pictures, what you actually see are these Chinese soldiers with staffs, with knives or machetes attached to the end of it. Let's turn to the next image, which is a close-up. And over here again, if we can actually show these weapons a little bit, it's a bit clearer over here. As you can see, staffs or sticks with knives and machetes attached. And it was with this sort of weaponry, and they have machine guns as well, automatic rifles as well, that you can actually see. They have been trying to come up to that position. Despite this provocation, Indian soldiers hold that line on Mukpari. They continue to maintain their positions. But this is exactly what the Chinese did in Galwan. This is exactly what the Chinese did on the north bank of Pangong earlier on. They come in with these weapons. These are medieval weapons of war. These are staffs with machetes attached to the top of them. As you can see from that image, it's absolutely clear what their intention was. Their intention was to get into or potentially get into a skirmish with Indian soldiers, and then it becomes some sort of a medieval fight, the likes of which we have seen in Galwan on the 15th of June, in which 20 Indian soldiers were killed in action. It's countless Chinese soldiers, we don't know that number, were killed as well. Now, this is that same strategy which China has been trying to do in that same area, where they have accused Indian soldiers of firing in the air. In fact, we believe that these soldiers, because you can actually see in a few of these images, in the next set of images actually, they have automatic rifles as well. So they fired a warning shot to our soldiers. They tried to come up, but our soldiers were able to ward them off. When I inquired, I was told that our soldiers didn't have any injuries. But these are the hordes of soldiers that the Chinese are trying to push up the ridgeline in that particular area, armed with machetes and sticks and medieval weapons. Again, the goal over here is to prevent a shoot-to-kill situation. But then the bloodbath that emerges, as we have seen in Galwan, is vicious. And this is the first direct evidence of the mass use of these weapons. We've seen the Chinese with sticks in one or two odd pictures in the past, but as you can see, every single soldier over there has these weapons. So what I can now do is actually give you a few details of where this has actually taken place. So let's bring you those images. What you actually see over here is South Pangong. That red line is the line of actual control upon which India dominates the heights. The incident and the pictures that you just saw took place, change the image, in a place called Mukpari. Mukpari being right there on the line of actual control. And right next to Mukpari, in the next image, you'll be able to see Rezangla and Gurung Hill. Now, Rezangla to the extreme right, it's between Mukpari and Rezangla, where the Chinese tried to come up over there to threaten Indian soldiers with those machetes on top of poles, which they used to threaten Indian soldiers. India continues to hold that line. We continue to hold the ridges. By controlling the ridges, we can look down at those Chinese positions. But China has many positions in this area. This is on their side of the line of actual control, as you can see. This is updated on the basis of new satellite imagery that we've had a chance to, we've been told about. And as you can see, China has many posts. But remember, because these posts are lower, Indian soldiers actually have a big advantage. The question is, with 6,000-7,000 plus Chinese soldiers, will there be an effort to get onto the Indian posts that we hold in that same manner, or will there be the use of actual guns with bullets fired in a shoot-to-kill sort of configuration? Let's give you a few more details. In the next page, we actually have the Spangur Gap. That's the area which has been highlighted. This is the area where India can dominate by virtue of its position on Gurung Hill to the left. That's an area where Chinese tanks can actually move into Indian areas that we've blocked off completely. A very tense situation indeed. And once again, the Chinese using the same tactics of weaponry, staffs mounted with machetes and knives, also with automatic rifles, which we've reported is something similar to what they've done elsewhere, North Pangong and Galwan as well. These are the pictures that I was actually telling you about, and once we have a moment, we'll be able to actually treat these pictures, zoom into these pictures a little bit more. But this is the sort of medieval fight that we've seen elsewhere. The effort is to scare off Indian soldiers when you have so many Chinese soldiers trying to approach in these heights. These are altitudes more than 14,000 feet. There is a stone fortification over there, a sangar of sorts. Unclear if this was an Indian defensive fortification or it was a Chinese position from where they emerged. Quite obviously, these pictures have been taken by Indian soldiers. This is the threat that Indian soldiers at those heights actually face at this stage.